Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode on deck here on FTSN. I'm Russ Morgan. I hope everybody's having a great night. Baseball right around the corner. Obviously, we had the two games in Tokyo the last 2 days. Early on anybody here. Early on the East Coast. Very early for my Dodgers friends on the West Coast. 3 a.m. But we did have those first two games. Dodgers took the first two games in Tokyo. We're going to get to the AL East preview a little later. We're just going to touch on a little Dodge on the first two games of the season. Dodgers took the first game 4-1, won today 6-3. First game 4-1. Ohtani definitely just picks up where he left off, 2 for 5. You get an RBI from Edman, Will Smith, and Teoscar Hernandez. Yamamoto goes 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks. On the Cubs side, you don't get much going on hitting-wise. Shohei Imanaga goes 4 innings, gets pulled with the no-hitter. He had 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. They pull him after that. I get it. That's tough. I know you want him to go, but I mean, still in spring training mode. So he's still ramping it up, and that's why you pull him. Long season. They still got 160 more to go, so it's definitely a long season. So they want to not stretch him out too early. This morning, Dodgers win again, 6-3. Debut of free agent pitching gem from Japan, 23-year-old Roki Sasaki. He goes 3 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run with 3 Ks, 5 walks. That's a lot of walks for 3 innings. I did not get to see Sasaki this morning. Woke up at 7:30, and still it was like the 6th inning by the time, so I definitely didn't get to see Sasaki. But Ohtani, he continues 1 for 3, hit his first home run on the year. Edman definitely with another RBI. Kike Hernandez 3 for 4, 3 RBIs and a home run. Will Smith batting .500 right now. He has 5 walks in 2 games. On the Cubs side, Justin Steele goes 4 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, 5 Ks. Kyle Tucker finally got on the board with the base knock. John Birdie went 3 for 4, so that's pretty good. Pretty good for a guy who's on the cheap. Matt Shaw still hitless. Was hitless today. I think he got his first hit today. But I think he's going to be good. I think Matt Shaw is going to be pretty good because defensively, he was looking pretty solid defensively. First game of the year, Matt Shaw was looking solid defensively. When I was watching the game this morning, made some nice plays, made a nice stop, Edman, that 5-6 hole to take a hit away from Edman. So I think he's going to be pretty good. First game of the year looked like the Dodgers, hitting-wise, were kind of in midseason form. Shohei looked really, no drop-off for Shohei. Obviously, get the short starts from both pitchers, from Yamamoto and from Sasaki, but that was bound to happen because you're not going to stretch a guy out a week before spring training is going to end. But definitely on that end, Will Smith picking up 5 walks in 2 games, pretty solid. He's batting .500. I think he was 1 for 2 today, 1 for 2 yesterday. He had 3 walks on Tuesday, 2 walks today. So, I mean, it's a pretty good plate discipline. We'll see what they do with the outfield. You got Paganis or Pagas. I don't know how to say his last name. I probably do, but I'm messing it up. Looks solid. Base knock today. We'll see what they do pitching-wise when Ohtani comes back. But you expect there be some kinks. Got to shake off the rust. Ohtani, I just mentioned, I'm reading it again, just picks up and that guy rakes. But the Cubs definitely need, Michael Busch had an 0 for series, PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong 0 for, Suzuki goes hitless. But first game, will definitely just got to shake off the cobwebs. Going into the AL East, baby, AL East. Yankees obviously lost to the Dodgers in 5 games. We're 94-68. Did lose a couple key players, namely you lose Juan Soto to the Mets. I think offensively, is going to be taking the biggest hit when you lose a Juan Soto. And being a diehard Yankees fan, I love baseball. I love baseball. I watch baseball, but I'm a diehard Yankees fan. I do not have a second team. I follow the Yankees. Being a guy who scouted baseball and coached, I will follow players and root for those players to succeed, such as Paul Skeens. I scouted Paul Skeens when he was in high school before he went to the Air Force, and got to interact with him a little bit. Really liked him as a person, so I will root for him. I like to see him succeed. I'll root for Garrett Mitchell with the Brewers because he went to Orange Lutheran High School, and I was coaching there when he was a junior, so I'll root for them. There's guys I like to see succeed. Actually, was it Edouard Julien, guy I scouted in the Cape Cod League at LSU. Brooks Lee, guy I scouted at the area code games, saw him. So there's guys I want to succeed, but I will not root for the team. I root for the Yankees. So, I mean, they do lose Juan Soto. Unfortunately, he goes across town to the Mets. It's a big offensive loss. And obviously, you're going to have to pivot. You're never going to be able to replace a Juan Soto offensively. Offensively, you can't replace a guy who is, top 2 best hitter in baseball, right up there with Ohtani. So they're never going to be able to replace him. But you lose Juan Soto. But I think, unfortunately, I was very jacked going into this season with what they did, minus 1 or 2 things of what they did in this offseason, and then they changed the rule on facial hair, and it all went to crap. Everything went to crap after they changed George Steinbrenner's rule. You change the big boss's rule, and then what happens? Bam, it goes downhill. But we'll get into that. They traded Nestor Cortez and didn't re-sign Verdugo or Rizzo. Actually, kind of not surprising, but 2 of the players that were on your starting roster who for the World Series aren't on a team. Both guys don't even have offers. So Verdugo hasn't even received a MLB offer to play, and this guy was starting in the left field for your World Series team. So that was not, I'm fine with that. But on the free agent side, you obviously pivot. You sign Max Fried to 8-year, $218 million. You sign Paul Goldschmidt. You trade for Cody Bellinger, which I'm super jacked up because Cody Bellinger is just raking right now. Betting 472, 5 doubles, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 525 on base, 778 slugging. I'm really excited to see Cody Bellinger behind Aaron Judge in that lineup. You add, was it Francisco Cruz with the trading Jose Trevino? So that backup catcher spot is wide open. You get Devin Williams, who was one of the best closers in baseball, so that's going to shore up that back half, which will be really solid. But like I said, are we getting hit with the injury bug because you changed the boss's rule? You changed the facial hair rule, and everything just goes down. So they're just getting hit with it big time. You lose former Cy Young and ace Garrett Cole is out for the year with Tommy John. Massive hit to the rotation. But we've obviously seen this in the he's had some arm issues in the last couple of years, so maybe the Yankees kind of knew this was coming this year, and that's why they signed Max Fried. And I've read that could be the case. You're going to be out with Giancarlo Stanton's going to be out for a while. He's slowly moving his way back. I haven't seen a timeline for him. But honestly, for me, Stanton looked like he was very, very hurt in the World Series. I think he's starting to slow down, and his time is starting to come near. Because when I saw him rounding third, I think it was done. But it's a massive hit the way he hit in the World Series. Hit it all October. really kept us there offensively, especially with Aaron Judge's struggles. You also lose Luis Heel, reigning Rookie of the Year, for at least 3 months. That's going to be a big loss because we know what Heel did last year when Cole did go down. He was big, so that's going to be another really big loss. I was really hoping something for Heel. Hopefully, he'll come back strong after that, and Heel's really big, really need him big when he comes back, especially with the loss of Garrett Cole to lengthen that lineup. But the rotation kind of in disarray. You got Max Fried, who's going to have to step into that ace role. You got Carlos Rodon, who's going to, was a 2-starter last year and is going to have to do that again. Honestly, Rodon had a nice bounce back year last year in a large way, but we need that again this year. He was like 14-9 last year. So we need that again for Rodon. You got Marcus Stroman. What was the quote from Stroman? I am a starter. I guess he was right because he slots right in there at the 3 or the 4. You got Clark Schmidt, who is dealing with some arm soreness. Pitched to bullpen, says he's feeling good. Says he's gonna be ready by April 3rd, which will be his slotted his time to start, his opening day start for the Yankees in Arizona. So he said he's going to be ready to go for them. And then you're going to have young guy Will Warren, who's been looking pretty solid this spring. I'm kind of excited to see Will Warren get some full time. A lot of MLB teams have been contacting the Yankees about trying to trade for him. He's 3-0 this spring, 15 innings, got a 2.78 ERA, 16 Ks, giving up 1 home run, 9 hits. But I'm excited to see what Will Warren can do. Hopefully, he can fill in that nice. Unfortunately, Yankees had some. Who was the guy? I can't remember his specific name. That went down. Who's Chase Hampton, unfortunately, was their top pitching prospect after Warren and could have been MLB ready, but he's down with Tommy John too. So that's another big hit. Yankees that they won't have Stroman was right. He's a starter and he's be right there. I'm really high on Warren. I think the bullpen's going to look really good. You re-sign Cousins. You re-sign Jake Cousins. I think I'm not going to say I'm 100% accurate on this, but I'm 95% sure Jake Cousins and Kirk Cousins are actually cousins, which is kind of funny. But you re-sign him. You re-sign Tim Hill, who was massive in October, should have pitched in game 1, should have kept him, gone to him instead of Cortez. But, that's long gone from there. But that bullpen's going to be solid. And for Fernando Cruz, you get Fernando Cruz from the Reds, trading Jose Trevino to the Reds, and he's a solid guy. He's got some wicked stuff. That'll be solid. And then you add Devin Williams in the closer role, and you got Luke Weaver, Florida State alum, in that setup role. So I think that bullpen, which is good because they're going to have to lengthen that bullpen a little this year with the injuries they got to the rotation. You don't know what you're going to get from Will Warren. He did struggle a little in spot starts last year, but now he's going to get some full-time starts, so that could be a little different. But you're going to have to lengthen it. And, I really do like Luke. He'll be in that setup role, but I think what we learned from October is Luke Weaver can lengthen it out. This guy was a starter for a long time, starter at Florida State. So he can give you a solid, 2-3 innings, which is, and we saw that in the playoffs. So I think that bullpen's going to be solid. I think Devin Williams is going to be lights out, but we're going to need that bullpen big, especially with Heel out for at least 3 months. Probably one of the better 1-2s. The infield is pretty much this, a newcomer here and there. Infield, you have Goldschmidt, former Gold Glover at first base. Down first half last year, Yankees are betting on that. He had a very strong second half. You're moving Jazz Chisholm to his natural position, which is second. I think he's going to have a big year with the Yankees. I really have high hopes for him. You got Volpe, another year shortstop. Hopefully he can build off that good October he had, and that's going to be a solid double play combo. Third base will be a platoon. Third base is a question mark. You got Oswaldo Cabrera, who will be getting that full-time role at third base right off the bat. We'll see. He has been good in spots, but how will he be when he gets a full-time role with third? You got Oswald Peraza, who has definitely struggled so far this spring. Let me see, this guy was former top prospect with the Yankees, has never really been able to pan out. Oswald Peraza batting 184, so that's not very good. He probably will see some time third, and you got DJ LeMahieu, after his Triple Crown year, can't stay healthy. So third base, I could see them trying to make a trade for that, or make a trade for a second baseman, because I think Chisholm showed he can handle his own at third base. You'd prefer him at second, but Chisholm can definitely handle his own at third. That you'd rather have him at second, but he showed he can handle his own at third base, where he can be serviceable and strengthen that. But I see the Yankees are going to have to make a move on that, because that's a massive hole, and because we haven't seen Oswaldo Cabrera have a full-time role. We'll see what he does. In my opinion, I see right now Peraza getting some time with lefties early. I see that. I don't know what's up with DJ LeMahieu. He just has never been able to get back to his form. The guy just lost it. I could see Peraza getting some time when lefties are pitching. And even though Cabrera is a switch hitter, he's definitely better on the left side, has a little more pop. But I think that's what the Yankees are going to start with, those three, and go from there. But I heard they're very not high on Nolan Arenado, so I don't see that happening. But it's going to be Oswaldo Cabrera right off the bat. Peraza, I could see him getting some starts here and there. Maybe Peraza, who's a former top overall prospect, needs to get that time, needs some time to get going. But we shall see. But that's kind of a massive hole. Maybe they make a trade. Anybody out there? Any names the Yankees should be looking for, minus Nolan Arenado, because I think Nolan Arenado, in my opinion, they're off Nolan Arenado. I just don't think they think the production is there for the level they're going to have to pay him. And they're also right on that first cap line, so everything doubles of what you're going to pay a guy right now. So I don't see that happening. But the outfield, I think the outfield's solid. You're going to have, it should be, you're going to have Cody Bellinger in center field, Gold Glove center fielder, which is why I was very vocal on the Yankees not re-signing Soto. I think Soto's unbelievable. I will never take anything away from Juan Soto. Offensively, I just don't think his defense is there. And I think his defense hurt us in the World Series. And when I mentioned on Sunday, the Dodgers and the Yankees, at the end of the day, were very evenly matched teams. And I think the one difference between what the Dodgers and the Yankees did is the Dodgers were a fundamentally sound team and the Yankees were not. So I think that's gonna be is the reason why was high on the moves. Cody Bellinger playing center field, Gold Glove center fielder, and the guy's a sweet left-handed bat, will play beautiful in that short porch, gap to gap. Will play. That right center will be beautiful. You move Aaron Judge back to his natural position, right field, which I think this will take a little ease off him. He can focus a little more on his we saw Aaron Judge is pretty solid defensively in center field. He can hang center field wise. The guy played center field in college. He can hang uh, in center field, but I think this takes a little off him. He can focus on playing some solid defense in the right and focus more on the hitting. I think it's going to be a big year. I think he's going to be a little pissed off because people are talking some smack about his poor October performance. I think he's going to be a little pissed off and kind of prove people wrong. I don't know how you come back after an MVP year, but I think he's going to be kind of on a mission because he had such a poor October. Then you got in left field, you got Jason Dominguez, who is finally swinging a pretty solid bat right now. He's starting to pick it up. The defense is the issue. Let's see, Dominguez batting 239, but last couple games, he's got 3 home runs. The last couple games, couple hits, 22 hits so far, 46 at bats. So he only bat 239, but starting to pick it up. His defense is going to be the ticker for him. So we shall see. But minus that, I think it can be solid. I think Dominguez figures out left field. I think they're keeping Dominguez in left field because they can move Trent Grisham to center if they got a DH game for Aaron Judge. That's solid. Behind the plate, you got Austin Wells, who's having a heck of a spring. Austin Wells is batting 324. So I'm really excited. In my opinion, I think Austin Wells turned it on after those first 2 games of the World Series. He just said F it, and he started swinging it. And I'm really excited to see Austin Wells this year. I think he does a great job with that pitching staff. He handles that pitching staff really nice. So I'm really excited to see where he slots in that lineup. But he's going to be an everyday guy. I think, behind the plate, I think starting, you're gonna have starting DH. When we start off, will be Ben Rice, who's batting 279. He's got 4 home runs. He's got 8 RBIs, 24 for 43, 24 hits, 43 at bats. I mean, 340 on base, 558 slugging. I think that's going to be pretty solid. I think he slots there in the DH role because of the Stanton injury. Also, that backup catcher spot is up for grabs. It was going to be Ben Rice, but now there's a lot of injuries. So that backup role, we got J.C. Escara. He's batting 341. I think he slots in because of those injuries and is the backup now. Guy was an independent guy. Great story if you ever read anything of him. Maybe Dominic Smith gets a taste too. Gets signed up in the big leagues, guy who's been around the big leagues for a long time. Short story about Dominic Smith. I played baseball when I was a senior in 2010 in San Pedro, California. I was a senior. Dominic Smith played at Junipero Serra High School in Gardena, California. He was a freshman, batted 746 as a freshman. So I think he will probably get up there, get some DH time because of the injuries. But I think there's some names the Yankees could watch out, look for. Obviously, pitching wise, maybe Sandy Alcantara with the Mariners. I think the Marlins, excuse me, who's been looking good. This so far looking like he's starting to build it back up and get back healthy. He's still only 29, owed $17 million this year. And his contract includes a $21 million club option for 27, but he's healthy. He's an excellent pitcher. He could put at that top of the rotation. I could see another name I could see, especially if Giancarlo Stanton is out for a long period of time, maybe a Luis Roberts, who's kind of wasting his time in Chicago. Obviously, only 27. Has had injury history, but he's owed $15 million this year and has $20 million club option for 26, 27. I could see that. I do not see the Vladimir Guerrero's the longest shot of all longest shots. I'd be excited for that because Vladimir Guerrero came up as third baseman. Maybe an Eric Fetty with the Cardinals because they look like they're going with the young guys. I don't think it. Maybe Isaiah Kiner-Falefa But Brandon Lowe, but he won't be traded in division. I don't see that happening. But those are just some guys. I mean, I could maybe a Dylan Cease, maybe a Michael King, but unfortunately, the Yankees, I've mentioned it before, they're bent over a barrel. Everybody knows they need pitching. They need pitching bad. So I think they're going to probably look more to the trade deadline. But moving to the second team who lost, the Baltimore Orioles, 91-71, lost to the Royals in the ALDS. Did lose a couple of key players, lost Corbin Burns. You lost Anthony Santander. Burns is going to leave that massive hole in that rotation that needs to be filled. And who's going to fill that role? It's going to be Grayson Rodriguez. Unfortunately, Grayson Rodriguez is hurt. So, I mean, you're going to have to go on really starting. You're going to have Zach Efline, who's going to be that one guy. You got Charlie Morton, who's on that older side, but they're going to expect a lot of big from him because they continue want to compete in AL East, which the AL East has got a lot deeper this year because of the Red Sox made some moves that made it a much more competitive division. You're going to have Kramer, and then you got Sagano, who's the 35-year-old rookie from the MPL. So, I mean, the losing Rodriguez, I'm surprised they didn't do much pitching-wise. You lose Rodriguez, they're really kind of hoping for Rodriguez to build off this strong year last year and keep on going and get into that ace role. But that injury, you're going to have to lean heavy on Efline. You're going to have to lean heavily on Charlie Morton. Sagano is a guy we don't know much about. They said he was good in the MPB, but we'll see how that transition goes. I mean, on the offensive side, you had Tyler O'Neill, who's going to slot in at left field. But, I mean, Santander would have been a nice guy to keep, but I heard the offer the Orioles gave Santander was significantly lower than the one he goes to when he goes to the Blue Jays. On the infield side, infield's pretty solid. The infield you're going to have who's the first base? Is it Mountcastle? Is it Mountcastle your first baseman? Yeah, Mountcastle at first. You'll have still top prospect, former top prospect Jackson Holliday at second. Hopefully he can build off. He definitely struggled when he first got that call up, but then started hitting a little better. So they're going big on them, big on that. You still got Ramon Urias who can give you some time. You still have Jorge Mateo, who's out right now. Urias is day to day. Mateo is trying to find his injury designation. Elbow 3 days ago, so he's out right now. So we don't know if he'll be ready. But it's solid. I mean, Gunnar Henderson's out right now, but they're saying he's good to go by that. Third base, you got Jordan Westberg, solid guy at third base. There's some guys on there I want to talk about with if you got any Orioles fans in there, there's some young guys I really like on this Oriole team that I think need to get a cup of coffee and get up there that need to get ABs. But, I mean, on the outfield side, you got Colton Cowser, who had a solid rookie of the year. You got Cedric Mullins in center field, who will be getting back to that full-time role. You had Tyler O'Neill, who we all saw what he did in Boston with his power numbers. I think he's going to be pretty big with those power numbers in that shorter porch in Baltimore when they brought the fences in. I think that's going to be pretty solid there. Trying to think who we got. The DH still have O'Hearn. I want to know, Baltimore Orioles fans, what are we going to do with Heston Kjerstad? I love Heston Kjerstad. I really think I think he showed a little bit before he got hurt. I think he needs to get a full-time role. He's obviously slotted to DH, be a backup DH. I think he needs to get some full-time at-bats too. He's MLB ready, could play first base, could play outfield. I think Heston Kjerstad's a guy I really like. I've obviously said I like college baseball. Guy out of University of Arkansas, was a freshman on the Arkansas team that lost to Oregon State, with the Oregon State who ended up winning it all, who had a massive roster, had Stephen Kwan, had Adley Rutschman, had Nick Madrigal, had that. Who was the one pitcher? I can't remember the one pitcher, the lefty's name. If anybody remembers this lefty's name, because I know there's not a whole ton of college baseball fans, but they had this one lefty who was the best pitcher in college baseball for 2 years straight. And every time the playoffs came up, he wasn't eligible to play in the playoffs because of a past record. But, that team was stacked. And they were right there. But Heston Kjerstad, I think he needs time. I think he needs some ABs. I really like him. You obviously got a great battery behind the plate. You got Adley Rutschman, guy's former Rookie of the Year. I love him. I think he's going to bounce back, have a really solid year. He was a little down last year, he batted like 254. I think Rutschman's going to have a big year. I'm pretty pumped for him. This is the thing. It pains me to say the Orioles are good. I love some of this youth movement in the Orioles. And there's two guys I really am kind of disappointed in the Orioles that I really want to see. Really want to see with the Orioles, but it doesn't seem like they're going to be starting with the MLB. They are not. They both got sent down to Norfolk. I think one's still up. The other one is, but there's a couple guys, and that's Kobe Mayo, and that is Samuel Basillo. I remember, I wasn't at the game. Wish I kind of was, but Basillo against the Pirates at Lycombe Stadium in Bradenton, Florida. God, man, just mammoth a home run. Guy's batting 226. He got 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. But I think he's another guy who needs to get some time. Maybe we see him later in the year get up. Kobe Mayo, who is definitely obviously came out, he's a little disappointed that he got sent back down. Oh, they got Daz Cameron, too, who's a guy who's a former top overall pick. Mike Cameron's son, who's having a pretty good spring, 355, but he'll probably be done. But, Kobe Mayo's a guy who's very disappointed. You got Gary Sanchez. Have fun with that. We had Gary Sanchez for a long time. He's a definitely boom bust guy. He can hit the crap out of the ball, but, he can do nothing, too. But I think Mayo, who had a very down spring, I hope they send him down. They need to bring him up. He can play first, third. That's a guy I really want to see. Speaking to one of the Orioles fans I know on Twitter, guy I like because I'm a college baseball guy is Enrique Bradfield Jr. Definitely named to run, 70 grade runner, solid defensively. Let's see what they got him. 50 hit. They got him as an 80 grade runner, 70 grade field. I think he can move through the system fast. And there's one more name. Let me see where they got him. One more name I'm really liking. They got him as a 27 because he was drafted last year, but he was a late first-round pick last year, and that's Vance Honeycutt. Vance Honeycutt out of the University of North Carolina. I really like this guy. I saw this guy. He grinds at the plate, had some very big hits. Got him as a 40 hit, 60 power, 65 runs, 60 arms, 70 field, 50 overall. I think both those guys could move through the system fast because of their collegiate time. So, but on the other side, I think the Orioles could probably make some trade. Maybe they trade Mayo and try to add a pitching piece because it looks like they need some pitching. You always need bullpen help, so maybe they do this. Now going to that third team in the AL East, we all hate them. The Boston Red Sox. very nice. They went 581 and 81, but unfortunately, they had a very productive offseason. You sign, you trade for, you start the offseason off, you trade for Garrett Crochet, who was the ace of that White Sox system, gave up a lot, some solid players, gave up Kyle Teal, who could have been a guy who slotted in a catcher, gave up Braden Montgomery, who was a solid player, Texas A&M. Longer guy, you gave up, who's that? God, I'm going to kill myself because this guy's actually from my scouting area. Chase Mydroth. So they gave up some solid players, gave up a pitcher too. I don't know the pitcher, but I mean, you get that ace, you get that opening day starter right off the bat. Bam, then they go for Walker Buehler. That's another solid guy. So it's a solid looking is with those two guys, that's a solid offseason right there with Crochet and Buehler. And then you get Alex Bregman, who's a Gold Glove third baseman. That infield's looking very strong. Can look strong, but I don't think it's looking as strong as it is right now because of some issues. But you got Tristan Casas at first base. Bregman will start by moving to second, is what I'm hearing. You got Trevor Story at short, and then you're going to have Devers at third. Bregman, he's a Gold Glove third baseman in 24. When is he going to make that full transition? Devers has stated he is a third baseman, but then also recently came out and said he's willing to move to help the team. But this guy's in the lowest defensive metrics of defense for third baseman. So it's got to be Bregman. He's a Gold Glove third baseman. I think that makes the team better if Bregman's playing third. He's going to be peppering that wall, but he's better defensively. So I think it ends up happening. I think it might help some of the young players too. Tristan Casas could be in the line for a big year, but he's had injury history. So maybe he moves to DH. Maybe Devers moves to first base. But, he only had 212 at-bats last year, batted 241. Story's the same thing. He's had injury history his whole career, 255 average, but only had 94 at-bats last year. In my opinion, this is why we're going to see some of these young guys. And one young guy I think can stick at shortstop. That's Marcelo Mayer from Eastlake High School in San Diego, California. If you look up Eastlake High School, the players that came out of that school, some big-time players. The biggest one was Adrian Gonzalez, who played with the Padres, played with the Dodgers. But I could see Marcelo Mayer getting some time with the Red Sox because Story has been hurt a lot. Let's see what we got with Mayer. Mayer, left-handed bat, smooth left-handed bat, 55 hit, 55 power, 40 runs, strong arm, 55 field, overall 60. I could see him getting some time. He plays a smooth short, in my opinion, with a plus arm strength. I've seen him personally. He's smooth. Sometimes I remember seeing him at the area code tryout games, and sometimes he's so smooth. He looked like he didn't even care and was nonchalant, but he was just that good. But I see him getting some time. Yeah, I feel Devers should move to first or DH, and that's another thing. I think that gets Christian Campbell some time, who's a top overall prospect, was the International Eastern League MVP last year. 60 hits, 60 power, 60 run, 50 arm, 50 field. Now, the thing with him is he better suited for an outfield or second base? I think he can stick at second base. That's why you move Bregman to third and you give Campbell some full time. But in my opinion, the athleticism will transition perfectly to second base. But those are two big guys on the outfield side. The outfield side set right now, led by All-Star Game MVP Jared Duran, 285, 34 stolen bases. Willer Abreu will slot into the corner spot day to day right now, but he's opening day 253 last year. Slotted at center field is, I don't know how to say his first name, Rafaela. And then you got, was it Masha Yashishida at DH or Devers? But the real question for me is, when are we going to see, what is he overall? Number 2 overall prospect, Roman Anthony. and number one in the Red Sox system. 20-year-old left-handed hitter, big left-handed hitter out of Florida high school. Out of a high school in Florida. I don't know the specific high school. I will come next time I jump on. I will research where he comes from. I'm not 100% sure. I think he's from Stoneman Douglas High School in I don't know where in Miami. I don't know the specifics where the Stoneman Douglas is, but if Dolphins thirsty, if Rob, you're in the chat, I'm pretty sure I remember saying I'm pretty sure he's from Stoneman Douglas High School in Miami. I don't know. I mean, it's probably not in Miami, but the suburbs of Miami. But I am 95% sure I remember Rob mentioning something about that when we first started the show. But this guy's, I mean, an advanced swing, quick stroke, a 60 hit, a 60 power, 50 run, 50 arm, 50 field, 65 overall. He can flash plus run at times out of the batter's box. Average runner, solid 6'2" frame. He's got good instincts. Can steal a couple of bags. Average, solid grades. So when are we going to see him? When are we going to see Roman Anthony? When he's going to be called up? Maybe they make a trade because they got a lot of these guys, and they got a lot of good prospects that don't have spots. Maybe they realize that the iron is hot right now, and it's time to strike because the Orioles, as great as they've been, I think they're a little vulnerable. The Yankees, with all their injuries, I think they're a little vulnerable. I think the iron's hot right now. That maybe they keep on trading a couple of these prospects to get MLB-ready players, even though I think these three guys can compete at the MLB level with Anthony, with Campbell, and Mayer. I think maybe they strike when the iron's hot. I think they can take it. It pains me, and I've almost thrown up in my mouth being a Yankees fan. As a pure baseball fan, this team is good enough. If they stay healthy, they are good enough on paper to win the AL East. But also I think it could come down to any of those three teams. But I think it could also be a surprise. But when are we going to see Roman Anthony? Will probably be one of Anthony and Kristen Campbell will be those guys. When are we going to see them? On the pitching side, pitching will be, I mean, the depth's solid. You got Garrett Crochet, who's going to be that dude. You got Tanner Houck. You got Bello. I think it's Bryson, but he's out right now. You got Walker Buehler. We all know Walker Buehler's kind of issues in the regular season, but the guy's just a gamer in October, and he gets it done. I don't know what they do with that last spot yet. Maybe Lucas Giolito, but Giolito's hurt. But, I mean, I think the big question is with them, when are we going to see those three guys? I want to see them as a baseball fan. Keep them. Let the young guys go. But I think, in my opinion, the Red Sox are right there. They're in line for a wild card or winning the division. I think the division comes down. I think that division's pretty wide open. I think it's pretty wide open. So, I mean, but minus this next team we're going to talk about, Tampa Bay Rays. Technically not in Tampa Bay, which I learned since I moved to the area, Southwest Florida area. The Tampa Bay Rays are actually not in Tampa Bay until this year. They are moving to George M. Steinbrenner Field, and they are mirrored in controversy right now. Tropicana Field got ripped off during Hurricane Milton, which had 130, 150 mile per hour winds. Got ripped off. It was actually it's done. It's not going to be ready, but it was actually housing first responders. And with them, all I know is that owner's kind of a jackass, right? That MLB wants him to sell the team. He doesn't want to sell the team. So their new proposal for the new stadium, which was going to look really nice in St. Petersburg, they were going to build it up, have stuff around there, got shot down. So we don't know where they're going. I think the Rays, in my opinion, either move out of the state, but if they want to stay in the area, move to Tampa Bay. I talked to a baseball fan at a spring training, move him to Sarasota, has a lot of area. I think Tampa Bay would probably be better suited because it's a bigger metro. I don't see the Rays really being competitive this year, even though they did get back some good players. You signed Hassan Kim, who's going to start at short, but I think it's all about those young guys. You're going to have Junior Camarero. Orlando's another one. Yeah, Anthony, how's it going tonight? Orlando's another one. I think Orlando, in my opinion, for the Rays, Orlando was one place they were looking at because of the Walt World of Disney was one place they were looking at moving the Rays, but they did not have the facilities to handle it because it was a lot smaller. I think they need to move to Tampa Bay. If they stay in the area, Tampa Bay would probably be better suited. Yeah, Disney. Yeah, but they got to build a bigger stadium. Actually, probably be. They need a bigger stadium, even though it actually wouldn't really matter because they, only average about 8 to 10,000 people a game. 10,000 probably on the bigger side because they can't even sell out Georgia and Steinbrenner Field. But I mean, I think for the Rays, it's all about young guys. You got Junior Camarero who's going to start at third. Yeah, you got Christian Morel, who they got in that trade deadline. Carson Williams, a guy who's going to be up at short sometime this year. They get back Shane McClanahan this year, who is nice, had a couple all-star game years. I really like Trey Morgan, guy out of LSU, first baseman, but can play outfield. But I really hope this owner sells the team. Apparently, there is a group who wants to buy the Tampa Bay Rays that is Tampa local. So they are local guys. But if they don't figure it out, it's going to be it's just so. And I think first off, I think this owner needs to sell. I don't see him selling. I think he wants the team, but he doesn't do anything. In my opinion, he doesn't do anything to help the team get better. Doesn't spend the money, which he needs to do. I don't really. I'm not in the Miami area, so I can't really speak for the Miami fan base. I think when Miami, in my opinion, when Miami first got here, there was probably a solid fan base. Now I don't know about the snowbird situation with the Marlins. There's a lot of snowbirds down here. It definitely hurts them. I think the Tampa Bay area would be better suited for them because it's kind of little more or less snowbird. Definitely St. Peter's big snowbird everywhere in Florida, obviously. But I think that'd be better, a little bigger metro. I can't speak on the Marlins. They didn't do bad when they were in the World Series. I mean, they're selling it out. They got to figure something out because I think, in my opinion, and I hate to say it, the Dolphins do a very good job and sell out. And the people, the Heat do a solid job. People wanted to go to the Heat at one time and want to come in Miami. I don't know why nobody wants to come. Oh, yeah, 100%. That's why the tickets are more expensive on the other games, even though right now tickets are dirt cheap. But I don't know why that is. I mean, it's a lot of snowbirds. I think if we're going to stay in the Southwest Florida area, I think Tampa Bay is better for them, and that's going to be my final call. Orlando probably would be nice too, but there's a lot of snowbirds in Orlando too. I think Tampa Bay is a pretty big metro that can get them going. I cannot speak on Miami. I remember watching 97. I remember watching when they beat the Yankees in 03. They had some pretty big fan base, and I think I can speak for my producer, Bobby Finstock. The Marlins need to go back to the aqua green. It's such a better look. This new Marlins thing, I think my producer will agree with me. Go back to the old ones with the fish, with the teal hats. It was way better. I think they need to get back to that. But going to the St. Pete doesn't have enough room. They're talking like Ybor. I think there's an area out in Ybor area. This guy kind of annoyed me. I was at the game yesterday. He said they should move to Sarasota. There's a lot of room out here. I don't want that to happen because I live very close to Sarasota. I think they're saying there's room to build out in Tampa Bay. I wanted to say like Ybor downtown area. But yeah, Clearwater's, I mean, St. Pete doesn't. I remember listening to somebody said building Tampa Bay Rays, you got to look 30 miles each way for your fan base. And if you go 30 miles each way, the most population you're going to find is fish. And that's 100% true. I don't know where they go. I think they should go to Tampa. I think they said Ebor's got some room for him, close to Raymond James, something like that. I don't know Tampa very well because I live in Bradenton area. But I think this owner's got to sell the team. But going to that team, we got last place, the Blue Jays. Definitely had a tumultuous offseason with Vladimir Guerrero. They didn't sign Vladimir Guerrero contract extension. Guerrero was looking for a contract $500 million or north. Will he stay in the North after the season? I don't know. But and what team do we think he's going to go? I think the Yankees probably going to be on. You're going to put all the big ones in on him. I don't see it. It's just going to be too much. In my opinion, you're going to have to give up too much to get Vladimir Guerrero. In my opinion, I don't see it happening. I think they're going to go for it this year. I think next year there's going to be a lot of teams. Yankees will be all the big names are going to be on them, and that's probably why the Mets will be on them. That's why they gave Alonso that 1-year deal, and he'll get on there. So I mean, I don't know where he goes next year, but I'm sure the Dodgers will be on him too. So just add that guy can play third base if he has to. But I mean, they traded for Andres Gimenez. You sign out Anthony Santander. You add Max Scherzer. The infield's solid, anchored by Vladimir Guerrero and Bo Bichette. You add Gold Glover, Andres Gimenez. Yankees, Red Sox, Baltimore. You name. I don't think he goes there. The Cubs, definitely a good one. Astros. I mean, a lot of people are gonna. There's gonna be a lot of interest and for Vladimir Guerrero next year. I don't know what they're going to do. I think Vlad next year is going to have a lot of interest. It's going to be a fun offseason because we got that big guy from Japan coming over too, which will probably end up with the Dodgers, which will drive me nuts. Just give them another one. But, I mean, it'll be anchored by Vladdy, anchored by Bichette. You add Gold Glover, Andres Gimenez, Bichette and Gimenez. That's going to form a great double-play duo. The only question mark third base with Ernie Clement penciled in at third base. Will Wagner backing him up. Clement's having a phenomenal spring. 405, 410, 622 slugging. Warren only batting 226. Vladdy last year, 323, 30 home runs, 103 RBIs. Led the team in hits in all those categories in hits. And basically, they need Bo to stay healthy, only 311. Gimenez will provide unbelievable defense, unbelievable defense. I mean, the guy's just gotta love his second base. Average hitting, if you get average hitting from a guy who's giving you Gold Glove defense game in, game out, you take that in a heartbeat. They have a third base question. Clement's been solid. Can he build off his solid spring and form a solid infield? The outfield, you'll have Lopafito, Dalton Varsho, and George Springer. Newly acquired Anthony Santander, probably roll into that DH spot. Can play some outfield too. Pitching staff will be solid. You got Kevin Gausman, you got Max Scherzer, you got Jose Barrios, Chris Bassett, and Francis Scherzer dealing with some injury. A couple of guys I really like that are a little longer term projection on. Not longer. I would say both next year minor leaguers to watch for them would be Trey Savage, Ricky Tiedemann. I saw Ricky Tiedemann personally in high school. Guy's a long lane lefty. Really like Tiedemann, but he's having some struggles staying healthy. He struggles to stay healthy. One guy to look for the Blue Jays is or Levis Martinez, second, third baseman, guy who look at this. Actually, in my opinion, with the Blue Jays offseason, I think they could probably compete. And if some of their big guys stay healthy, uh, they could probably compete. They had a very solid offseason. But in the AL East, I think it's in the AL East. It's a up for grabs division because the Yankees got injury history. The Orioles injuries that are really going down. The Orioles, I didn't think they did enough on the pitching side this year. The Red Sox, I think, had an unbelievable offseason, right up there with the Dodgers. Not as good because the Dodgers went off, but an unbelievable offseason. And I think the Blue Jays, honestly, had a pretty solid offseason too and can compete. I went out on Monday, and watched the Pirates Twins. Actually, was very surprised, got to see Paul Skeens pitch. That was random. I was just going to, watch a game, chop it up a little, maybe see if I could get some guys. It's very tight. But guys I really liked on Minnesota were Jeffers, Trevor Larnach, Edouard Julien, and all had some solid hits against Paul Skeens. Julien was one guy I was really impressed with. I think that's a pretty good day for him. He probably was starting at second with moving over Brooksley to third base with the injury to Royce Lewis on the Pittsburgh side. Key Brian Hayes, just Oppo Taco Boomba. Oh my, just a poke. And he's smooth defensively. Joey Bart, who was the number 2 overall pick out of Georgia Tech, solid bomb to right center, looking good. He should be slotted as college catcher. Nick York, had a nice home run, 2 hits, and is in competition to play first base. Skeens looks solid. Did get hit around a little bit, but I don't think that's worrying. Man, the guy's got some pop. He was like a 94 change. Everything was 94 to 98 with like 190. I'm like, God, the guy was unbelievable. Went 1 second. He went 4.2 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 7 Ks. Did you see any of the young Marlins guys pitching the game? Thomas White and Noah, they're all 3 very good. All 3 very good. Anthony, I think he exited out last week. You said you're a Marlins Yankees fan. How does that work? Who were you rooting for in the World Series in 2003? And to answer your question, I think they can help. Snelling can compete to pitch this year. Thomas White, one of the better pitchers in pitching prospects, and Noah Mayer. That will be 2 guys to watch in the future. Snelling could be a guy who could pitch this year, especially with all of the guys the Marlins shipped off and injuries have hit them. But my outlook of the AL East is wide open. Wide open this year. It could be any team that. I mean, Baltimore, New York, Boston's had an unbelievable. I think Blue Jays could compete. Come on, man! You pick one team. So who are you rooting for then? So I'm a Yankees fan. I root for the Yankees, and I grew up in LA. And I hate the Dodgers with a passion, and I went to a lot of Angels-Yankees games. I grew up in LA. So I grew up in enemy territory. The Yankees were my team. I used to hate the Marlins after 2003, but now that was when I was a kid. Hate after 2003. You think they need to move back to teal? Come on. Win. That's all I care about. But maybe they go back. They got some solid young guys on the Marlins. But at the end of the day, I think this is a solid – this division's a lot of depth. I don't know who's going to win this division. I don't want to predict who's going to win this division because I'm not going to Yeah, I just don't want to do it, but I think it's going to be very competitive. I think it's the best division in the AL, one of the best divisions, going to be the most competitive division in baseball. I'm really excited. I'm getting jacked up. Baseball right around the corner, already had 2 games. Spring training almost wrapping up. I'm getting really jacked up. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Please remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Everybody that said comment. Anthony, thank you for tuning in as always. I'm Russ Morgan. This is On Deck here on FTSN.